Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next-level tactics. From off-site and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
You might also have seasonal content, which is only relevant during a certain part of the year. For example, you might have a number of topics about the holiday shopping season. If this is the case, you'll only want to circulate these posts during those relevant times of the year, so keep them separate. Beyond that, try to capitalize on new trends, technology, news, and information as it rolls out when you plan to syndicate and distribute your material. Browser and device compatibility. Next, you need to make absolutely certain that your content is loading properly, across all browsers and devices, before you start distributing it. The last thing you want is to push a link out to your social media channels only to have your users arriving confused at a 404 page or a mess of improperly loading content. BrowserStack is a great resource here. With it, you can simulate how any page of your website appears to various different devices and browsers. You'll want to pay close attention to how your images and videos appear, and how your content layout changes from device to device. Search optimization. You'll also want to make sure your posts are optimized for search engines. I've covered the basics of on-site optimization before, so I won't get into too much detail here. Basically, you'll want to include strong keywords and phrases throughout your article, as well as in your headline, your title tag, your meta description, and any header tags you're using. Ideally, when you promote your content, you'll earn shares and inbound links, which can help your content rank higher in search results. But taking these optimization measures will ensure your content gets visibility for the right keywords in organic search results. Social media icons. I'm always amazed at how many people miss this basic function. It's ridiculously easy to include social media share icons on your website, so there's no excuse not to do it. Every post you create should have clear, prominent share buttons that your users can click to share your material with their followers. This isn't a direct promotional strategy, since you won't be the one doing the work, but you should make it easy for users who don't mind doing some of the work for you. Including these buttons can significantly increase the number of people who end up sharing your post, which exponentially increases your piece's long-term potential. Comments and on-page interactions. As another easy add, make sure that you have plenty of opportunities for your users to engage with your material directly. At SEO.company, we allow comments on all our blog posts to facilitate and encourage discussion, and your site should too. The more discussion your post generates, the more visibility it's going to get, and the greater impact it's going to have on all incoming users who are seeing it for the first time. Any other forms of interaction you can include, such as interactive quizzes or calculators, can also be beneficial in securing more engagement and shares. Know your audience. Finally, before I turn my attention to the individual strategies and platforms you'll be using to promote your content, I want to stress the importance of knowing your audience. Before you go any further with your content promotion strategy, you need to know exactly who your target demographics are, what kinds of platforms they use, how they find their content, and how you can best reach them. Only with this information will you be able to choose the most effective platforms to support your strategy. If you aren't sure where to get started here, the SBA has some great resources on how to conduct market research. With that knowledge in mind and your site set up for long-term content promotional success, let's start dissecting the strategies that can maximize the potential of your content strategy. Social media syndication and engagement. First up, we have the strategy that almost everyone thinks of first when it comes to content promotion: social media syndication. Why is social media syndication so popular? Because it's free, relatively easy to use, and offers the potential for exponential growth. Ideal for both one-time and long-term content runs, I highly encourage social media distribution at a bare minimum for every brand. Let's explore the reasons why, and how to use social media effectively. Choosing the right platforms. First, understand that social media isn't a magical gateway to more visibility and a bigger audience. Some platforms are going to matter to your brand far more than others, and it's up to you to decide which ones those are. It's not an easy decision, nor is it necessarily straightforward, but narrowing your scope of syndication to only the platforms that are most effective for your brand can help you maximize your return while cutting back on wasted time. Demographic considerations. Your first job is to take a look at the demographic makeup of each platform and weed out any platforms that aren't a good fit for your brand. There's basic information, such as age groups of users, but also more behavioral and qualitative information to consider. Other platforms, like Facebook, have a broad appeal and are worth pursuing almost any business. If you're looking for a good all-in-one source for social media demographic information, Pew Research has a fantastic breakdown. What are your main goals? Next, consider what your main goals are, as different platforms are going to offer you different advantages. For example, if your main goal is to increase your brand visibility, a platform with high potential reach and impact would be good, so Instagram should be a major priority. But if your main goal is to facilitate engagement and conversation, Instagram isn't a good choice. LinkedIn might be better since it's more geared toward group-based interaction. If you're trying to get more traffic alone, a platform like Facebook or Twitter, which caters to newsfeed scrolling and clicks to external sites, is best. What does your audience want? You'll also want to think about how your audience finds its content, and how it uses its social media platforms. For example, most young Instagram users want to use the platform to see cool images their friends have posted, get creatively inspired, or otherwise be entertained one image or video at a time. It's probably not a good place to promote your ebook to this demographic in this way. What are your competitors doing? If you've been thinking about the above points and you feel a little stuck, don't worry. These are highly conceptual points, and they don't always provide a clear answer. One of the best ways to get inspired is to see practical examples of people who are already engaging in these strategies, and the best way to do that is by looking at your competition. Make a list of some of your closest competitors, preferably some who you know to be engaging in a content marketing strategy. Take a look at how they're promoting their content on social media. In what ways are they effective? In what ways are they ineffective? What would complement this platform type? If you're like most businesses, you'll be using multiple platforms to support your content marketing strategy, but that doesn't mean you should use them all in the same way. Think carefully about the types of content that would work best for each platform. For example, Pinterest and Instagram are surefire bets for anything with a solid visual component but may be best avoided for purely text-based content. Initial promotion. Once you've got a loose strategy set in place, and a good understanding of what types of content promotion you'll be pursuing, you can begin. Ultimately, there are two ways to promote your content in the social sphere, and the first is with initial promotion. With this strategy, you'll be circulating a new piece of content to your audience for the first time, selling the post. Once you've proofread your post and formally published it on your website, it's time to take it to your social media audience to see what they think. Choose which platforms you want to use, and draft a post for each of them. You'll want to include a link and at least one image with each one. You can't get traffic and readership without the link, and engagement rates tend to be higher with posts that have a visual element. It's a common, but a lazy technique to simply include the article's headline as the opener. It may be in your best interest to optimize this text to really sell the post. For example, instead of X ways to improve your content promotion, you can tease your audience with something like, "This is the last post you'll ever need for your content promotion strategy. Find out how the pros do it." Keep your audience in mind here, and make sure every platform you post on has something a little different. Automated options. It's worth noting that there are several automated options you can choose that will help you promote your latest content instantly. For example, Next Scripts is a WordPress plugin that allows you to push your latest blog posts to any number of your external social media platforms instantly, without having to think about it. It's a great tool to help you remember this important step, and it could accumulate to save you hours of work. Just make sure you get a chance to edit the posts before they go live. Initial boosts. Simply pushing your content to social media should be enough to give it a little more visibility, especially if you already have thousands of followers. But still, you could use an extra boost to make sure your piece generates some initial momentum. There are a few options here. For example, you can ask your employees, friends, or family members to share the post with others. This will increase your share count, making the piece seem more impressive, and instantly connect your work with thousands of new eyes. You can also distribute the work via any personal brand social media channels you may have served as peripheral outlets, such as the CEO's Twitter account, or other employee social media accounts. Facebook allows you to boost your posts so they reach more of your fans, and this can be a great way to get an initial boost of syndication with your audience. LinkedIn groups offer another great channel for getting initial visibility. Start by joining as many LinkedIn groups as you can that are relevant to your industry or business. Once you're accepted into the groups, participate in them and add your content to them as discussions. Ongoing content syndication. The other route for social media distribution is ongoing syndication. Here, you'll be reposting your older pieces of content on a recurring basis. Obviously, newer content is better, but syndicating your old material will help it be seen by people who missed it the first time around, and may re-spark interest in your older concepts. Plus, you need to be posting almost constantly if you want to stay relevant in social media, and your archive of content can help you do it. Timing considerations. There are a couple of types of timing considerations you'll need to bear in mind here. First, it's not a good idea to repost your latest material the day after you initially promoted it. Instead, wait at least 2 weeks, preferably a month or longer, before distributing it again. This will help you avoid appearing too repetitive. Reposting content on social media is beneficial, but it must be done strategically. Second, you'll need to make sure your streams of content posts are timed appropriately for each platform. For example, your Twitter users probably wouldn't mind seeing you posting 5 times per day or more, but your Facebook users wouldn't be nearly as happy about that. Find a rhythm that works for your audience and platform of choice. Renaming and reframing. To seem fresher and less repetitive, it's a good idea to retitle your work, or at least reframe it in a different context. For example, my example in the previous section led to an article with the phrase, "This is the last post you'll ever need for your content promotion strategy. Find out how the pros do it." Adjusting it to something like, "Your content promotion strategy is about to be transformed. Check out these new amazing tactics," will generate more interest and fewer eye rolls. Targeted promotion. Depending on your goals and your audience, you may also be able to target specific people, events, or opportunities in your content promotion strategy. These can be applied to either your initial or ongoing promotional efforts. Special timing. You may choose to withhold promotion of a certain piece until a certain amount of time passes, or until something changes. For example, seasonal content, as I've mentioned before, performs remarkably better when promoted during its intended season. You may also dig up an older post that has become relevant recently due to a news event or a new development in your industry. Audience targeting. Some platforms, including Facebook, offer special ways to target certain segments of your audience with your distribution. For example, Facebook offers a unique targeting feature that allows you to narrow your potential readers based on factors like age, geographic location, or even certain interests. Be sure to take advantage of this when you can. Hashtags. You can also use hashtags on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hashtags are meant to categorize posts and make them more searchable, with a peripheral intention to help promote special events or trends. By using them in your posts, you'll make your content potentially more visible to the public. However, you can't just stuff hashtags into your posts randomly. Make sure you understand what they mean and that you're using them appropriately, or you could harm your reputation more than boost it.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.